We're halfway through March and many people are wondering where in the world the new M3 iPad Pro is, because the leaks have been pointing to a launch this spring for probably over a year now, and so far all we've gotten is the M3 MacBook Air. So in this video, I'm gonna go through the latest leaks and rumors to figure out precisely when the new iPad Pro is gonna launch, and I'm also gonna give you guys a rundown of all of the leaked features and the changes we're expecting, with the goal of helping you decide if it's even worth waiting for, because the price is definitely expected to increase. But before we talk about the pricing and changes, here are the most recent final leaks for the iPad Pro. Earlier this month, Mark Gurman revealed that Apple was no longer planning a March event, which was a huge surprise because for months before that, we were expecting a bunch of new products to get released this spring, including the new iPad Air, the iPad Pro, and the MacBook Air. But it looks like Apple is instead going to release each product on their website with a series of online videos and marketing campaigns, which basically matches what Apple did with the M2 iPad Pro, releasing it without an event, simply releasing it alongside a 9-minute YouTube video. And guess what happened the day after Mark Gurman's report? Apple randomly released the new M3 MacBook Air on a Monday at 4 a.m., which was really odd. But what this ultimately means for the iPad Pro is that there will definitely not be an Apple event, because if there was, they would have saved the MacBook Air for that event, but they didn't. And Mark Gurman did give us some news just a few days ago, saying that he still expects the new iPads, including the iPad Air, to launch towards the end of March or early April, as that's when the accompanying iPadOS 17.4 software update should be ready to go. And just the other day, Ross Young said that the new iPad Pros are likely to begin shipping in April based on the timeline of that new software update, only being ready to go later this month and installed onto the actual iPads in the factory. On top of that, we got another leak from Instant Digital on Weibo, who said that Apple will likely announce new iPads on March 26th, because that's the date many third-party cases for the new iPads are set to go live for sale. So this basically means that the announcement will happen on the 26th, which is a Tuesday, assuming that leak is correct, and then it's going to be available to order on Friday the 29th and start getting delivered to customers on April 5th. However, Ross Young did mention that Apple's supply of OLED panels for the new 11.1-inch iPad Pro is very limited, so there's a chance that the shipment date could get delayed by a week or so, but hopefully not. And now, with that said, let's jump right into the 10 new changes we should expect for the iPad Pro. The first one is, of course, the new M3 chip with its new ray tracing and metal effects upscaling features, along with everything else that's coming that should greatly help with gaming performance. Now, as we saw with the new MacBook Air, it's definitely more efficient so far, helping with battery life, but other than that, we've seen an 18% improvement for single core performance, going up to 20% for multi-core, and then 23% improvement in 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme's unlimited gaming test. For feature number 2, we have the brand new dual stack panel OLED display. Now that's going to be amazing because it will completely get rid of that mini LED halo glowing effect that we have on the current 12.9-inch iPad Pro. It's going to have amazing, awesome contrast and color reproduction, and it's also going to be double the brightness as other Android OLED tablets because it's using 2 stacked panels together, basically doubling the brightness. So it's essentially going to be the best tablet display in the world. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now for feature number 3, we also have larger display sizes. We have 11.1 inch for the smaller model and then 13 inches for the bigger one. So it's going to be slightly bigger than what we have right now. And what I think that means is that we're going to be getting thinner bezels on the front instead of the chassis getting a lot bigger, because we did get the dimensions and it's just a little bit bigger in each way. but I think the bezels will be getting a little thinner. Now for feature number 4, we are getting a brand new redesign that's gonna be a lot thinner. Only 5.0 millimeters, which is going to be crazy thin, thinner than any Apple product ever. It's gonna feel basically impossibly thin on the 13-inch model because of the large size in comparison to the actual thickness, and I'm worried that it's gonna be so thin that there's a chance that Apple could completely skip out on the big feature number 5, so let's jump right into that. That feature is of course the rumored MagSafe wireless charging feature that Mark Gurman has talked about for years, with the iPad Pro supporting reverse wireless charging, so you could actually charge, let's say, your AirPods or other accessories on the back of the iPad Pro. Now, because of the super thin design, we might not be getting that feature, or maybe Apple will decide to only put the wireless MagSafe feature into the brand new 2nd gen Magic Keyboard case, which is actually feature number 6. Apparently, Apple is releasing a fully redesigned Magic Keyboard, which is supposed to look and feel much more like a MacBook than ever before. First of all, it's gonna have a larger trackpad that's gonna feel more like a MacBook, but the entire bottom of the cover is going to be made out of aluminum, just like their MacBooks, with better keys. Now, the top section will remain the same rubber material which it has right now, which does mean it could potentially support MagSafe built into the back itself, and they might even be able to route the power from the wireless MagSafe module down through the smart connector to charge the iPad Pro itself if the iPad itself is too thin to have the charging coils inside of it. Now, the patents did show that this new keyboard case is gonna have a new clipboard mode, which is gonna be really cool for drawing, as well as an Apple Pencil retainer and charger so you don't lose it anymore. And then that brings us to feature number 7, the new Apple Pencil 3, which was actually rumored to launch soon by not only Mark Gurman, but also Instant Digital, who says it could launch this year. First of all, it's gonna be getting a new design, rumored to be shorter and glossy, and yes, it's gonna be exclusive to this new M3 iPad Pro, so it probably won't work with the iPad Air as far as I know. We are expected to get interchangeable magnetic tips to have different shapes and sizes to help with drawing, and there's going to be a new color sampling feature and potentially even more features, maybe some kind of different buttons or gestures, who knows. And there's a chance that actually on the inside of the Apple Pencil 3, they could relocate the charging system so that way it works with the new feature number 8. And that change is actually the rumored landscape camera, which should finally be coming to the iPad Pro after a couple of years of only being available in the budget iPad 10. And the reason for that is that the iPad 10 does not support the Apple Pencil 2 with wireless charging, which means it doesn't have to have the built-in wireless charging module, which is right in the same position as where the landscape camera is. So for Apple to bring the landscape camera to the iPad Pro, they need to redesign the charging system on the Apple Pencil 3, which I believe they will do. But this new landscape camera will make it feel much more like a MacBook, especially when used with the new Magic Keyboard. For change number 9, we're expecting an improvement coming in terms of a bunch of the specs, like for example, improved camera quality, potentially an update to its Bluetooth and Wi-Fi specs, and we also had a rumor that we would finally get a 4 terabyte storage option, which in my opinion is overkill and nobody should actually buy that. But in general, we should expect some small spec updates here and there. And now, finally finishing off with change number 10, we have the most important one, which is the pricing, which could be enough to turn some people away from the new iPad Pro altogether. Initial reports pointed to a huge price increase up to around $1,500 for the 11-inch model, which sounds crazy, but thankfully, we got another rumor saying that the new OLED displays actually won't cost as much as expected, and therefore only lead to a price increase of around $160. So in my mind, it makes total sense to increase the price of the 11-inch iPad Pro up to $1,000 from the current $800 price. And as far as the 13-inch model, this one is already $300 more expensive than the current 11-inch iPad Pro with the LCD display because of that expensive mini LED display on the 12.9-inch model. So there's a chance that this one might only increase by $100 up to $1,200 total, but of course, there's a chance they can make it even more expensive, up to $1,300, because in reality, it's even more tough to make a display that nice be 13 inches in size. So there you guys go. Those are the final leaks for the iPad Pro. So let's wait and see what happens when the new iPad Pro will be released, which I think will be in early April. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.